Welcome back to the final credits. On today's show, Deadpool and Wolverine. Will it live up to the hype? The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Why is it failing at the box office? And on another note, why is Civil War at the top of the box office? All that and more. Stay tuned. Joining us today, we've got the Pancake Man himself, Joey Pancakes.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully the word of the day is peace because we're about to talk about a lot of war.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sitting next to him, we got none other than Johnny64.
Shout! No.
And me, Mike Spade. So, guys, we're going to go straight into it.
Let's do it.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Ooh, boy.
What do we think? Johnny, go.
Oh, man. Well, this is an R-rated film for sure. Welcome MCU to R-rated movies. This was, they made a statement with this, I think. But I'm hyped. It's the only MCU movie we're getting this year, as we know. I think they're putting their all into it. They're trying to market it, the shit out of it. And, all the stuff we love about Deadpool is there. All the stuff we love about Wolverine is there. We still haven't gotten a cowl shot of him yet in the classic X-Men 97 cowl, but I know it's coming. Yeah, they honestly, they better save it for the movie. I don't want them spoiling that in the trailer. But, we saw so much crap. We'll talk about it in a second, but it's like lot to take in, lot to be excited about.
Pancakes?
3 words. It's already covered in the trailer. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
So, but just to expand on that real quick. So with each levels, like the kids like to say, there's levels to this. First, we got the initial announcement that this movie was happening. Then we got the teaser trailer on the Super Bowl. Now we have the latest trailer. My level of excitement keeps going up and up. And I stick by what I said in most anticipated movies of the year. This remains number 1. And this trailer just keeps proving that more and more. But those 3 words cover the excitement, what I'm looking forward to in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. At first, I was excited for it. But after watching this trailer, I was really hyped. I was like, wow, this thing is going to be fucking awesome. Literally. So... anything that you guys noticed in the trailers that have you really hyped? Especially since the internet is all talking about Ant-Man's head.
Yeah, I think we saw a lot more of where Wolverine and Deadpool are, in those scenes where they're arguing and fighting in what looks to be a desert, but it seems like that's the Void from Loki. Yeah. We already know that they enter the TVA in this movie as well, so I think there's gonna be a lot more Loki tie-ins than we expect. But and we also saw a giant dead Ant-Man helmet and skull that they are using as kind of like a nowhere, Guardians of the Galaxy base inside of a skull. So that's pretty crazy. Apparently that's ripped out of a Logan comic too, so that's pretty cool. I don't know. What else is that? What else am I forgetting about? There was just so much.
Well, in the beautiful violence that is Deadpool, especially from the first 2 movies and teased through these first 2 movies, was the use of the Madonna song, not living on a prayer.
Wow, one person.
Well, I as that escapes me, but the fact that
I wanna take you back.
There, got on down on my knees. Okay, YouTube, don't flag us. So. But,
trust me, we're so off key, they're not going to flag us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. It was less than 10 seconds anyway.
I think it's like a prayer.
Yeah, so the fact that you have a Madonna classic and Deadpool is, absolutely destroying people along with Wolverine. I hope we get that song. Maybe not with that scene, but that stuck out to me. That fits into the world of Deadpool. We have an upbeat song as he's destroying everybody around him.
You know what I liked about this whole trailer? The best thing is that it looks like Deadpool gets adamantium swords. Because there's no way Wolverine's claws are not slicing through.
Yeah, he has to be able to stand up to him.
Right.
Yeah, with his weapons.
I think those swords are definitely adamantium or Vibranium.
Vibranium.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in the MCU now. That could be a joke in itself too. How he gets vibranium swords.
Yeah,
Anything is up for grabs at this point with Deadpool. That's the thing.
Since you bring that up, how far into the whole, like, do we think that this is starting off in the Fox universe and then ends up in the DCU, the MCU?
So we quite literally see. I mean, we've seen leaked shots of it, but we also see it in this trailer too, like pieces of a fallen 20th Century Fox logo in the void, in the desert void, while they're fighting. So like, there has to be some like crazy ass joke, like and like Fox to Disney jokes that I've been dreaming about for years now. So yeah, I mean that's without saying. I mean we've heard him like with all the fourth wall breaks. We even heard in this trailer he refers to Kevin Feige himself.
Right.
So you know.
Well, see, that's what I'm afraid that they're going to use up all the jokes, and then when we finally go and watch the movie, it's like, oh, I saw all this in the trailers. Like, I'm hoping that's not true.
It's all about delivery. Even if it's stuff you know is coming, like if he just delivers it the right way, it's going to be funny every time you watch it.
Also, Marvel Studios is notorious for putting stuff in trailers that may not end up being the movie. But I think those jokes would be perfectly placed, and then like you said, we'll still laugh our asses off when we get to that moment.
And now in CinemaCon too, they showed off even more footage.
Yeah, a whole 9 minutes.
And like I said, for years I've dreamt of how like the Fox to Disney shift for Deadpool would go down. Like I always wanted him to just be in like some sort of director's seat or something in Fox's studio. A lawyer comes up to him with paperwork saying you're with Disney now, and he'll just be like, okay, and just walks across the street into like the Disney studio. But apparently, according to what was seen at CinemaCon, they're doing it even better. That
Listen, I hope
he
so.
literally walks off set in his scene, and he just goes straight to the camera, looks it right in the eye, and says like, "Suck it, Fox. I'm going to Disney." And like whatever happens after that is just like I said, like anything can happen at that point. But it's I can't wait for jokes like that, to be honest with you, because that's pure Deadpool.
It is.
We got our first look at what we're assuming is the main movie villain in Cassandra Nova.
Yeah.
Hopefully they still make her Professor X evil twin, but she looks pretty good in the side by side with our comic look like. So it's gonna be interesting how that's gonna be going down.
Yeah, that scene with her like manipulating
Wolverine.
Wolverine looked pretty hardcore. So
Yeah, she
It
definitely
looked like something Magneto would do.
Pretty
in
intense,
in
yeah.
in the first X-Men.
Well, she maybe she has her twin brother's memories. So Magneto, maybe she has met a variant of Magneto, which I hope appears in the movie. So,
I feel like this movie is going to have way more cameos than Doctor Strange did.
yeah.
oh yeah,
It's gonna look like Child's Play in Doctor Strange, but it's gonna be done better and probably for his amusement.
I was gonna say they're gonna be
his
done for
approval.
laughs. They're definitely gonna be done for laughs over anything else.
And actually way better than what was done in the Flash movie.
Oh, listen, this trailer alone is 10 times better than the
Yes,
whole
sir.
movie.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And that's not us being biased.
it's just a
But
fact.
so I have a question. I'm going to tell you one thing that I didn't like about the trailer, and it's something stupid. The whole cocaine bit at the end. I think it was a little too much.
You think I should have saved it for the movie?
That was when he mentioned Kevin Feige.
Right. I know. That's when he mentioned Kevin Feige, but I feel like it went on a little, maybe slightly too long. Like they kept going at it. Like I understand it. I get it. I don't care. Like to me, it's like, all right, we get it. But then they kept going at it. So I was just like,
I think
all right.
it's a tired type of humor that like, oh, you mean this? No, that? Oh, this name or that name for it? You know, like
possibly.
And I guess if I can nitpick it, one thing, I guess maybe, what the driving force of this movie is going to be interactions between Wade and Logan. And I hope, like you said, not giving too much away with the jokes. I hope they didn't give too much away with how, their awesome and funny interactions. And we just got a small sample size, and they didn't give away the best part with this trailer. But I think it's going to be spread out and done right, hopefully.
One thing that I noticed how when they're at the bar and Deadpool turns around to Wolverine and he goes, "Hey, Peanut." Who else says that? Scott Lang calls his daughter that.
Oh.
So in my head, I was like,
I didn't realize that.
What are we going with this? Because that's what he calls his daughter.
And then we see a dead Ant-Man.
And then
a dead giant man.
And then you see that, and you're like, what is he going to make a cameo?
And the bar that Deadpool, we're assuming is going to be the same first interaction between Deadpool and Wolverine, the same bar that he finds him in. I wonder if that's the same bar in X-Men First Class when young Professor X and young Magneto go in, and that's he said, "Go fuck yourself." When
I had that thought too.
Or from the original trilogy, Wolverine is in a bar drinking. So, but from this trailer, it looks like the one from X-Men First Class. But we'll see what's going to happen with that. And probably countless, endless cameos, and not just the X-Men. So many rumors in regards to that.
Anything else you guys noticed that made you feel excited? Like for instance, in front of the dead Ant-Man's head, you have all these cameos from people that were in all the
well, we saw him from
X-Men movies.
You had to watch it
like
a couple times. Lady Deathstrike.
Right.
I wonder if it's the original. What's the actress name from X2 that it escaped? Look that up real quick. But hopefully she's returning.
I'm pretty sure that if they're bringing that character back, they're probably going to bring back the original actor who played that character.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like you said, we're gonna get a ton of cameos.
Kelly Wu.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, we can get a ton of cameos in this movie. Like everything that we're naming right now could just be like a tip of the iceberg thing. You know, we have no idea what else to expect.
Anything else you guys want to bring up?
They got rid of, or we see Wolverine without his sleeves. So everybody who's concerned about that, it's
since you brought that up and off camera, Pancakes brought up a really good point as to why he went from sleeves to sleeveless.
Probably in the initial fight between Wolverine and Deadpool, either he cuts off the sleeves or he cuts off his arms before they grow back because of his healing factor, and they just leave it sleeveless, and that's why we get the classic Wolverine look.
But I'd argue and say, but he's got an adamantium skeleton. You can't really cut off his arms unless he's
just cutting off the sleeves.
Right?
Yeah.
It's too hot in here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it, right, guys?
Yeah, no, we're excited.
We're totally excited. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we're totally excited. So
Beyond
the question
stoked.
goes out to you guys. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited as we are? Or do you need another trailer just to see where this is going? Let us know in the comment section down below. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. What a tongue-twisting name, but a great freaking movie. Yes? No? Or am I the only one that thinks so?
No, I 100% agree.
Yeah, I mean, this was pretty much Suicide Squads with Nazis to punch. So
that's a great.
It was
That's a great way to put it.
There was nothing about this movie I didn't really like. I think other than the fact that it's been marketed terribly, people don't seem to know about it. And that
annoys me so much. It makes me so mad. Like such a good movie, is not getting way more attention. More people going to the box office. You have a well-known director who's a co-writer on this, and Guy Ritchie. You have a well-known producer, Jerry Bruckheimer, behind this. You have a leading man in Henry Cavill. Excuse me. It just has all the seeds to plant. And like I said in the short. Right after the movie, it's a perfect, sign me up, World War II adventure, an action comedy, destroying, blowing up, killing Nazis. What more do you want? It's an amazing formula. I was highly entertained. The whole cast was great. Henry, showed he could do the funny thing too. And basically, how he was in this movie, I wish we saw a feature more in Argyle, even though I did kind of like that film, and you guys had your opinions. But off topic, he was good as a leading man. But did it feel like he was the leading man or more of an ensemble cast?
That's the thing, though. He was the leading character.
Yeah.
But the whole cast was.
Yeah, everybody has something to contribute.
Yeah. You can't just say, like, oh, he was the one. Okay, so. In the short, I said Ocean's 11, right?
Yeah.
So the lead in that movie, as much as we want to say is George Clooney, right?
That's highly ensemble.
Right. So it's the whole ensemble of all the actors and characters that are being in that movie. That's the same thing with this movie. Like that's.
Yeah, like he's the biggest name in the movie probably, but like he's not the most important, like the only important character in the movie. And
you know what I loved about this movie? The best part about this movie is they did not introduce a love interest that comes out of nowhere and they fall in love. And,
Well, technically, if you read the stuff at the end of the movie,
but that's at the end of the movie. That's
they don't care about that.
Yeah,
they don't
right.
care about that.
That's a historical
The movie
fact.
doesn't care about that.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like in the movie, though, there is no like love interest. Yeah, there is a beautiful woman there that's doing all these things.
But it's part of the plan to take
right,
down the
exactly.
yeah.
And it has nothing to do with because Henry Cavill is a star. We're going to have I forgot her name. What is her name? Eliza Gonzalez.
She was amazing.
Isa Gonzalez.
Isa Gonzalez be the love interest. Like we don't need it. The story was so good. The acting was so great. The action, everything was so good. We didn't need a love interest. Watching this whole movie, I was like, wow. There was no love interest.
It didn't need it at all.
It didn't need it at all.
Yeah, not every
great.
movie needs one. That goes without saying. Alan Richardson, who I mentioned in our short,
So good.
if you weren't here to watch like Henry Cavill be Henry Cavill, going crazy, like if you're a Reacher fan, like holy shit, watch this movie.
He was definitely another scene stealer in this movie.
Oh my god, he's a heart stealer, that's for sure.
And he's Swedish.
He's Swedish. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. He was so good in this. It's like the character he was playing, which kind of confused me whether he was straight or gay or maybe both. I don't know.
I'm hot right now.
I don't
fact
know.
that he was taking out Nazis with a bow and arrow in a modern day war that has guns and bullets.
Hey,
they did it so they
silent.
could stay stealthy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's silent. Yeah. So I mean, the moves that he was pulling off with that was so sick. Like he probably had some of the best action scenes in the entire movie.
He's definitely come along.
I think Henry Cavill had the best dialogue, but I think Alan Richardson definitely had the best scenes. Like his action scenes were like so cool.
I totally agree with that.
And then and there was no American characters too. Alan Richards is obviously an American actor playing a Swedish role, but it was heavily focused on the British.
Well, that's what the story
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
There was not anyone there that was American. This was all the British forces doing what they had to do behind the scenes.
And just so everybody knows, like this is actually based on a true story.
Yeah.
Like this isn't fictionalized.
Operation Postmaster.
Yes.
And the person that Henry Cavill played was the basis for Ian Fleming's character of James Bond.
Yeah, which I thought was really
Which is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, had Henry Cavill not lost to Daniel Craig, that may have been the James Bond that we got.
Hey, they still haven't announced the new James Bond yet. And hopefully, he could always still do it. Hopefully he's not too old to do it. But you never know. He's not tied down to play Superman anymore. So
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Well, I mean, you mentioned before that this movie has not been doing well in the box office, but like I
Go
feel
see
like
it.
yeah, go see it. But like I feel like they made this movie like not really caring what the outcome would be. I just feel like everybody had so much fun making this movie. Henry Cavill, this had to have been one of his favorite roles. You could tell he had so much fun, like just delivering all those lines and being the character that he was.
And that mustache,
The mustache,
it was a real mustache, and it was
that,
his.
yeah, no CGI mustache this time. So like, he got what he wanted. Like I think, but everybody else too. I just feel like everybody just kind of made this movie for fun.
The issue I have with it though is it had a $60 million budget, and as of today, which it's been in the theaters for 5 days or so, it's only made 9.9.
Hasn't even broke 10 yet.
And that's worldwide.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I know it's still early, and an article on Screen Rant was already calling it a box office bomb. I hope that's not the case because Henry Cavill was really good, and we don't. Hopefully, that doesn't get tied to him with another box office failure. But hopefully, this people wake up and go see it, and gives this movie the well-deserved recognition it deserves.
Yeah, I will say the only thing maybe I just wasn't as much of a fan of was the depiction of Winston Churchill in this movie. I feel like after watching The Darkest Hour, like nobody's allowed to be Winston Churchill except Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, this guy did a decent job, but he just wasn't like convincing as him.
Well,
you know?
But he was in the movie for what? If you add up everything, he was in the movie for like what, 2 minutes?
Yeah,
Oh, he had a few scenes. I mean,
he was a supporting character.
Yeah.
Background
Barely.
character.
A background character, yeah. Like, oh, this is gonna go and happen. Well, let's not make it happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was the one orchestrating all of it, right? So, yeah.
He was going to get kicked out of the parliament if he had not.
Right, and he had to
succeeded.
do it in secret.
Because, yeah, it was an unauthorized British government mission.
Yep.
Like, you know, if you
And I believe after that is when they created the MI6. Possibly. I don't know. I may have made that up. I'm not sure. But let us know in the comments if I'm right or wrong.
History with Spade.
Yeah. I can make up things that make them sound believable. Yeah. So the problem is something that you brought up before. They're not marketing it.
I don't know why.
I haven't I agreed with you before when you told me off camera. You're like, I barely see any marketing, and you're absolutely right. I don't see any marketing for it either. Maybe a couple of ads here and there in the last 2 months, but nothing like, you know, maybe they're trying to save up money and see like, let's see how it does without marketing, and then we'll throw a marketing budget at it.
No, I mean, I haven't seen one ad about this movie even online, like until after we did our short last week. Like once we put that out, like then I started seeing, like, only on Instagram though, not anywhere else, just because we put out like the Instagram reel for our short. That's when I started to see ads a little bit, like in stories and stuff. Other than that, nothing.
I think we saw some trailers for it in the movies we were seeing before.
Yeah,
this.
but those are trailers in a movie theater. I'm talking like I haven't seen commercials on TV. I haven't seen ads like while I'm streaming anything. Like there's nothing. Like, not even YouTube, which has been going nuts with ads lately.
Right, but that's see, to argue on your point of we saw a trailer at a movie that we saw.
Right.
Yes, we see a movie or two every week. How many people actually do that? Not many. So who's to say that this person saw the trailer 2 months ago and went to go see the movie? We don't know. But if you see it on YouTube, you see it on TV, you see it on Facebook, Instagram, any social media, then yes, that's the marketing buzz that you're doing for it. They did nothing.
Well, one place I definitely did see it was the trailer review on the final credits.
Yeah, we did do a video on that. We'll put the link below.
Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles, just like this movie was made with shits and giggles. But I will say, because I feel like this movie, like, without trying it'll inevitably be put up against like Monkey Man at the box office. No, but like I will say I do think Monkey Man, it's going to be performing better at the box office. I do think Monkey Man is the better movie. Even though it's a completely different type of movie.
I can't really compare.
One's like an action comedy, like this is an action comedy. The other one's like an action drama.
Right.
But this was like I said, this was just a pure fun movie. I think I will say I think the actual thing I won't like about this movie in terms of the writing is maybe that it just felt like there were no real stakes for the heroes. Like there was no. There was one moment with like the female character. Yeah, but like, you know, every time they were fighting people, they were never really in trouble. It was almost like a Marvel, like an MCU like action scene. Where
I don't know about
it's
that.
So the good guy's always
they're
winning.
just punching everybody out, like, you know, making jokes and just saying like, let's have fun, boys.
Well,
you know, like it was so goofy and stupid, but it was like,
well, it's the same stakes that Operation Postmaster was in real life. That if they take out the Nazi fleet, they can disrupt the flow of supplies in the Atlantic, which opens the door for the United States supplies to get delivered.
No. You're not wrong. I'm not saying like the stakes weren't posted in the movie. It's just that it never showed in the characters. Like they never seemed worried once about anything that they were being put up against.
I disagree. There was the scene where they were ready to take out the boat, but they get the information that the boat is reinforced and they can't blow it up, so they have to pivot. So they come up with the plan to steal the tug. But that they have to come up with the plan to blow up the anchor of the boat, steal the tugboats,
right, which was a great scene. But like even then, like they were just like, oh shit, now what? But they were still like, like we have to think of something. Like we'll think of something. We have to think of something, and they did think of something. And
I'm with Johnny.
Yeah, they were never. I never felt like they were in actual danger once. Like I knew, like in every scene, like anything that came up against them, I was like, they have a way out of it.
Well,
like it'll be fine.
Every henchman they beat
no one's gonna die
with no issues. Especially like Alan had a slight issue with one or two of them where they actually got a couple of hits on him. But other than that, everybody was beating up everybody and killing. Like Henry Cavill was just like
they felt OP.
And OP. Yeah, it looked like they
felt overpowered.
Yeah, the Nazis were like putties, getting beat up by the Power Rangers.
Exactly.
But I disagree with you guys that there were stakes. With the boat getting reinforced, and then we see the Nazis, the sailors coming out from the the costume parties, but then they had a plan in place to take them out one by one, and then, but then the girl gets discovered because she used Yiddish to sing the song, so her cover was blown, but she was ready with the hidden gun to take out the
Right.
The big bad.
Like they always had a plan B, C, D, and E.
Right.
Like
but
they were smart.
It was a spy action movie as well. They were ready to go. But I disagree.
It was like a Nazi heist movie.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
That's why I said Ocean's 11.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying, but there was points where they had to they get serious and things to get a little dark where they had to pivot. And they had legit reasons because they lost people to the Nazis. So I that's where I stand on that.
That's fine. I'm not like disagreeing with you. I'm just saying like I felt that like multiple times during the movie. I'm like, oh, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll be okay.
The whole time I knew.
Of course,
you knew no one was gonna die.
They're in the middle of gunfire, but they're still cracking jokes. They'll be okay. Like it was fine. It was. I mean, I'm painting this movie as if it was like too goofy. It wasn't too goofy. It was just like it was funny as hell. Like we were hollering, laughing the entire time. But like it was almost like a Quentin Tarantino movie,
Yeah.
It was like like the stakes were there. Like it's a World War II movie. End of the day, they're fighting Nazi regime in Europe and everything, and it was based on a true story. But at the same time, like it was just presented in a way where it's the dialogue was funny, like the action scenes, like as cool as they were, they had like the action itself was kind of funny at times. So it was just like it was an all around fun movie. That's why I feel like they didn't care what the outcome was with the box office. They just kind of made this. This is a movie that like Henry Cavill just loved to make. Like he was all about it.
And it was a different spin on a World War II movie. Yes, heavily fictionalized, based on a true story, but not everything's gonna be Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer, or Steven Spielberg, Saving Private Ryan, because any other great director, great writer, studio could have make this a dramatic film with the high stakes, more serious. Life is lost. Because I think some of the characters based in real life only lived a few more years and were killed in action.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah. So it's it's a fun spin, a different take on a World War II story.
I think it was great. I will say that the humor in this movie was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
On point.
Who was it that wrote this?
Guy Ritchie was a co-writer along with
Paul
being
Tamase, Eric Johnson, and Arash Hamel. Let me tell you something. The way they spoke, it felt to me, it felt like the jokes just kept coming. It wasn't like they were forced like in some recent MCU movies. It wasn't like
screaming goats in the Thor movie.
Right. Or stupid things like in the Flash movie, putting a baby in a microwave.
Right. Yeah.
It was realistic.
Out of context, that sounds so crazy.
It does, but it was realistic. Like just like as we're having a conversation, and somebody throws out like a little bit of a sarcastic thing, and we start laughing or whatnot. It was the same thing with this.
Right.
Well, you know what is like I just felt like every actor in this movie just loved their role so much. They loved the character that they were playing so much that it just came out that naturally, and they were all able to bounce off of each other to make every joke work. And it worked beautifully in my opinion.
And to me, the funniest scene, I don't know why, I couldn't stop laughing, was in the beginning of the movie when Henry Cavill is in the room and he starts grabbing the cigars. And he takes one cigar, two cigar, and he just takes a whole bunch, puts them in his pocket. And then throughout the whole movie, you notice that no matter what he's doing, he's like, ooh, I like that jacket.
He had a coat obsession.
Yeah.
Well, he had an everything obsession. Anything he liked, he's like, oh, this is mine. Oh, this is mine.
I'll be taking that.
Yeah, and it was great. It wasn't like a one-time thing. Like it kept.
It was a great gag.
It was a great running joke, and I loved it. And this movie, I don't think there was a split second in this movie where I felt like it dragged.
No,
I felt like it was
no.
action-packed. It was funny. It was serious.
It slowed down at the right moments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I really enjoyed this movie, and I've got to say it's in my top 3 of this year so far.
Maybe top 5 for me, but I mean we're putting this up against, like you said, forget Argyle.
Oh no, Argyle was
sorry
horrible.
Apple, but forget Argyle. This is Henry Cavill's 2024 movie by far. Yeah,
this is number 2 for me so far.
Nice. So anything else you guys want to bring up?
just go see it. It's that good of a movie.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Pancakes. Go see this movie. This movie is.
Yeah, no, give back to the box office for this movie.
Yeah.
That's all I could say. Just get a ticket and watch it. You will not have a bad time by any means.
Nope.
Yeah.
So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, you tell us what you guys think. Did you see it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Tell us what you guys think about the movie. Do you think that it was so good that they should make a part 2? I don't know how they would, but maybe they would. Who knows? Or maybe, how about we love Henry Cavill in this movie so much that maybe we should have him as a 007, regardless of whether he just hit 40 and, the Broccoli say that he might be too old. I don't know. You guys let us know in the comments section down below. So, guys, not only did we see that movie, but we saw a movie that was kind of slightly different.
Very different.
And the movie that we
a little more serious. Yeah.
It's slightly more serious. Actually, it's a lot more serious than slightly. So this movie is Civil War. And, guys, Civil War is at the box office right now on a budget of $50 million. Worldwide, it's made almost $52 billion. Whoa.
Million.
$52 million. So, and it only came out a week prior to the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Right.
So, what do you guys think? Where is this going?
I think people are watching this movie more this year. Like, if this movie came out any other year that wasn't an election year during our current political climate, I think this movie would not be enjoying nearly the box office that it is enjoying now. It was a good, entertaining movie. I said this during like our first impressions. It revolves around the journalists that are covering this fictionalized Civil War. Hopefully, it stays fictionalized in America, and that like the things that they have to go through, which is like it is a real thing. Like when these like modern day wars happen, there are journalists out there that have to put their lives at risk to cover it and report on the news and everything like that. That central piece of the story was good. It was I thought it was compelling and everything. Kirsten Dunst was really good in her role. The thing is, though, like I said, it's the fact that I feel like this movie is playing on an election year. It's playing on a very heated political situation with the country. I feel like you could have kept the journalist side of this story and then placed it in like another environment that. It didn't need to be like a fictionalized American Civil War, especially not this year, in my opinion. I didn't think there's something about it. This movie feels dirty that way, that it's like playing upon people's emotions during this type of, this type of year that they know it'll be, it'll get people more interested just because of everything going on. And the way it was depicted in the movie itself, I mean, we'll get into it later, but I don't know. It didn't need to be a fiction American Civil War. I'll say that for now.
Well, he, I was looking up an interview that he did, and the reason he went this route, we to put the focus on the journalists because he feel like that was an institution that's getting attacked, and that there's fascist elements in all the check and balances of the government, and this is one that that's also getting attacked. And he one thing I felt going into this, I really wanted to know, but he put just limited details, was the cause of the Civil War.
Yep,
like why
it's not limited. He put almost no detail.
That was going to be what I got into next as well. Yep.
He said that was intentional. That's why we kind of said it. That's why he only does it in passing. Like we have the map of what states loyal to who. The 3-term president, that's become beyond corrupt, the disbanding of the FBI, Nick Offerman, who's a great actor, Ron Swanson from Park and Rec, that great episode of Last of Us. I felt like he should have been, I thought he would be more in the movie instead of in the beginning and the end. So I wasn't ready for the focus of the journalists was in the trailer. I didn't realize that would be the driving force with it. So he said that the young reporter or the young photographer, is embarrassing biographical because he used to be that wide-eyed foreign journalist going to war sites, using a fake journalist pass, and he had to get an awakening. So that's why he puts that in the in the younger character.
Oh, so you're saying that the Jesse character was kind of based off of himself
Yes,
doing all
based
these
on-
things? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
He says, a quote, "This is pretty embarrassing in many ways, actually, but there's a big element of autobiography in this film that I haven't spoken about before," he tells Tom Power on his show. And he said, because he would go to foreign countries, I would blag or fake a press card. I would attend what I thought was the most dramatic thing going on, thinking I'm going to end up at some point somehow by force of will as a foreign correspondent. That's what I thought. That's what I imagined. I was definitely wrong. So he had wide-eyed experiences that he planted in the movie.
No, see, here's the thing though, like, and this is why I don't like the fact that it's the story was in the environment that it was in. It's just that, yeah, like he says that's the reason why he didn't focus on the why behind the Civil War. But
Right.
when you watch this movie, it comes off as like, whoever wrote this was too afraid to show off
a
any
reason.
one side. Like, oh, we can't say America went to Civil War because of the right wingers or the left wingers or this or that. We just have to keep everything ambiguous. We have to show that two states like Texas and California somehow banded together.
Well, that's
to
the
be
thing.
the-
He's trying to show that two
It
polar
tried-
opposites can come together.
But that's the thing. Like it tried so hard to stay neutral on a story and like neutral on giving background on a story that like you watch and you're like, well, what the hell happened? Like, like how did America get to this point? You have to answer something. And I feel like they didn't at least it comes off as they didn't because they were too afraid to like look like they were taking any one political side. Like they didn't want to become like the Sound of Freedom of 2024. You know what I mean?
So what you're saying is by leaving out that important detail that ultimately hurt the story that we saw on screen.
No.
And not that it hurt the story.
the ending hurt the story.
Well, we'll get to the ending, but I'm just because that's where everything's fell off the fucking road. But it didn't hurt the story because the story was about the journalist, and like that part of it was fine. I think they do deserve, like a story about like what they do go through in real life. I think this story would have been better served in like based on a true story type of story. Not something that was
situation that was real.
Yeah, and something that just wasn't like I feel like this is a very sensationalized, fictionalized type of story. You know what I mean? Like you need something that you can at least believe in a little bit, And yeah, that's where I feel like it fell off track a little bit. But getting back to that ending though.
Wait, before we get to the ending. Hold on. Before we get to the ending, what do you guys think of Kirsten Dunst?
She was good. I think she just read her. She was given a simple description of her character as bitter, and she went through a lot of shit. She's seen a lot of shit, so she never smiles anymore, and she doesn't give anybody the time of day, and she's never in a good mood anymore.
She was the only Marvel actor, and there was no other Marvel actors in this version of Civil War. I'm just kidding with that. Thinking of
It's like, where is he going with
thinking
this?
of Captain America: Civil War from
I wanted to be brought into the MCU multiverse. That's why she's pissed off.
talking about a movie that came out 8 years ago. Anyway, I thought she did a good job for what she was given in this role. It's probably the most dramatic thing. Fun fact: the scene where they deal with the racist white supremacists, where he kills their two friends, her real life husband Jesse Plemons.
Yep.
That was a last minute addition because the actor became unavailable, whoever was cast in that one scene. So it was at her suggestion to Alex Garland, like just cast him, and he happened to be available.
Yeah, and they've worked together on other projects before, so I'm sure when that situation happened, she just instantly got on the phone. She was like, "Honey,
Drop everything.
can you
and
do
come
me
here."
a favor really
That's
quick?"
it.
Like I initially thought he was gonna have a bigger role because he had a big
His whole role was in the trailer,
yeah, that was it.
pretty much.
Yeah, it wasn't the big role that he had in Killers of the Flower Moon when he
No.
plays the FBI agent
Right.
in that. It was just a glorified cameo.
So I have a question. Actually, it's more of a statement that will turn into a question. The funniest thing about this movie is after we finish watching the movie, and Johnny64 turns around to me and says, "This guy, Wagner Mora, who plays Joel,
Oh, no.
is like the Wish.com version of."
Oh,
Can Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal. Yeah, it's like they tried getting Pedro Pascal, but they couldn't. So
they couldn't afford him, so they said, let's get this guy.
And it's funny that his name is Joel in this movie,
Yes,
like
it is.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he was good. He was good, but it's just like his mannerisms, like the way he
was
looks.
so much more
I
like
was
Pedro
like,
Pascal.
they wanted Pedro Pascal for
Yeah.
this role, but they couldn't get him.
And I was laughing hysterically. I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like you could literally swap the actors and he would act the same exact way.
He sounded like him
Yeah.
too. Yeah. So yeah, I mean he was good, but yeah, I caught on to that after like 5 minutes. I was like, wait a minute.
And yeah, I couldn't stop laughing. When he said that, I was like, oh my God.
You know what they can do is maybe after the election year passes, do a mini series on Amazon Prime and showed like the actual war,
Yeah,
and
what
the causes
happened.
to the war, and it takes place within the contents of the movie. And I don't know. I think that'd be a cool avenue to explore.
You didn't hear the prequel he's making? It's called Pre-Civil War.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just joking. That's not true.
Hey, you know-
but yeah, that would be funny though if they. That's actually a good idea
To like
do that.
savage what we saw.
Yeah.
You know what else kind of bothered me too about the whole thing is like other than the final scenes and everything, or like in DC, like I feel like everybody that they ran into, it wasn't clear which side
No.
they were on, or like what the sides were and what they were fighting for and all that stuff. And I guess that ties into the why, but like again, it was just like that ambiguity that was just like what is the deal here? You know,
Like I was mentioning earlier, that was intentional.
I guess, but at the same
yeah.
time, like
It was
if they
too intentional.
if they gave us at least a little context, I feel like that would it would do so much more to get me to care more about the actual situation.
Well,
you know,
just so you guys know, all that was said in that movie was California and Texas joined forces and seceded from the United States. That's it. And what do we get? Nothing else after that.
I guess the way he explained it is that they put, this cause was so big to, rise up and fight a corrupt president that we could put our political differences aside. That this cause is so, important that we got to take down this mother effer because he's ruining our country. So let's team up and not worry about our political differences now.
yeah,
But that wasn't made clear in the movie.
yeah,
Right.
and then at the same time too, like you're seeing like battles like going on, or like the remnants of battles like in the parking lot of a J.C. Penney, and it's just like, how is that going to look in the history books? Like the Great Battle of J.C. Penney of 2025
In the
or whatever.
parking lot.
In the
Yeah.
parking lot, filmed in Staten Island.
Yeah, like I mean, hey, that shit happens in the Staten Island Mall every day. That's two people fighting over the spot. It's the same outcome.
Oh, Lord.
So going to the ending now.
Oh.
So
It was
who
thankfully.
wants to talk about the ending?
Thankfully, it was pretty quick, which
It should be lackluster.
It should be a weakness, but it was so badly written, so badly done that I was like, just end this movie already.
You know
they
who
made
had
it
a
to
better
DC.
ending? You know who had a better ending than this movie?
What? Who?
The ending of the series for The Sopranos. That was a better ending.
black it out.
It would have been better to do that as opposed to the way this movie ended.
Yeah, maybe.
Like they didn't have to kill. I mean, I know for dramatic effect and for story, but they didn't have to kill Lee, Kristen Dunst's character. I know she was protecting Jesse, the younger photographer.
Spoilers. Nah, it doesn't matter. It's been out a week.
Yeah, it's been.
But yeah, so like she protected, but like she's like going down, but then they're still going after the president. They leave her there,
Right, exactly.
and he's like, "Hold off before you kill him. I need one quote. I need one quote."
Yeah,
And then
which
he's
is-
just like,
I hope they don't fucking
please
kill me.
please don't kill me. And he's like, that's all we needed. And then they shoot him, and then everything's hunky dory. And then
yeah, that'll do. Yeah.
you know, it's like I don't know if you watch SpongeBob. It's just like, like we've saved the city, and the city is like on fire behind them. It's like, okay, the president, he shot the president in the head. He's dead. Now what? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And then it's like, and then there's no like epilogue. There's no like,
Nothing.
okay,
It
like
just-
what's happened now that he's that they
Yeah,
got
like
him.
now that the corrupt president, the United States was able to, get back together and elect
Yeah,
so
we
and
didn't-
so.
we didn't get any
You
of
know
Yeah.
what that makes this movie, right? It's a road trip movie, and the whole story was all about the friends they made and lost along the way.
That's why there's
What a shitty movie.
That's all it was about. It was about them their goal was to get to DC, to make it to the president and get some line from him, and they did. And then the movie they rolled credits. That's it.
and then that's why going back to what I was suggesting, either do, I don't know about another movie, but a mini series to give it more
No.
time to flesh.
I
I
don't
think
want.
it's
I don't.
over and done
I
with.
don't want any more from this Civil War universe. I'm good. I think with like I said, with everything coming up this year, this is the last thing people need to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Look, the movie was entertaining for what it was for the first 3/4, I'd say, of the movie.
Yeah.
After that, it's just that third part, that final act. It was just, guys, we're running out of what is it? Our budget's low, so we're running out of money. So let's
kill the president.
And the whole thing was just so unrealistic. I mean, even as far as like, how do you leave him in the Oval Office if he's like a corrupt president? He's got people in his back pocket. He's gonna be in a bunker somewhere. Like, how do you find him that easily? You know.
Yeah.
And he's all by himself. Like, no.
And they don't. And another thing that's not explained is like, how does the rebel forces have the military might that they do? Like, what part of the military, defected to the opposition to go after the president, because it looked like it was the military, its own military, that turned against him when it was fighting for the Western forces. Like, who was backing them up? All these unanswered questions.
Exactly.
Well,
but that's,
I mean, you can think of it logically and realistically. We are a country that has more guns than anyone in the world.
I know, but it was
anybody could have.
But it was
put
a
on
legit.
fatigues and
It was
said,
a legit.
Hey, I want to fight for this. You understand?
It seemed like a legit military force that invaded its own White House because the loyalists, a general that would last to that president.
but that was
surrender.
all spectacle.
Yeah,
It's all spectacle.
I'm
There was
just
no
going-
substance to it.
I'm just going based by the dialogue. I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. Like I mentioned before, like how this is like all fictionalized. Like I think it's better suited if this was based off a true story. There is a movie out there I mentioned to you guys. It's on Apple TV Plus. It's with Zac Efron. It's called The Greatest Beer Run Ever. Crazy. It's a crazy ass premise, but it's based on a true story during the Vietnam War, and there is a big portion of the story that is centered around the journalists that are covering the Vietnam War in the area that he's in. And there was a very, very similar scene in this movie where the journalists that we meet, they're hanging out like at this hotel bar and everything, just like going on about like, oh man, like how about that? How's the weather outside? Oh, the bombs. Like, like it was the same thing in that movie too. And so like I feel like that was a much better suited movie for like a journalist centric story to like show like what they go through in these
As
types of
opposed to
things.
this movie that.
Because that was this movie's only strength. It was just surrounded by a bunch of bullshit.
And Johnny 64, not sponsored by Apple.
No, well,
Not yet.
but like that was the first movie that came to mind because I watched it like last year or so, and I like all the scenes
It
like that
reminded
were
you of
similar.
that, yeah.
It was the same thing, except it was based on a true story, which gives it a lot of credibility. I mean,
Well, who's to say that Alex Garland didn't take that into consideration and said, you know what, I'm just gonna put it into a dystopian future and
Yeah.
just
no,
swap it out a
dystopian
little.
future needs to actually be in the future, not maybe next week.
Yeah,
you know, like
Yeah, let me take the real life political divide and turn the volume up to 11.
yeah, this could be Thanksgiving for all you know.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this much, people. If you're going to watch any movie this weekend, do not go see Civil War. Not that it's bad, but
There's
the
a better
Ministry
movie.
of Ungentlemanly Warfare was a much better movie.
Or Monkey Man, watch that too. We reviewed that too.
Great too. Yeah. So, anything else you guys want to bring up?
No, I think we're good.
All
Peace,
right.
peace and love to all Americans. That's all I can
That's
say.
it.
Get
That's
along.
That's it. Didn't you all go to kindergarten? That's the first thing we learned.
Knock
So,
it off. Get along.
The question goes out to you guys. Did you see the movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let us know what you guys think. Do you feel like the way Nick Offerman died was kind of lackluster?
I needed more Nick Offerman.
Yeah,
Man, the Ron Swanson presidency just looked horrible.
so bad. So yeah, let us know in the comment section down below. So guys, anything else you guys want to bring up while we're?
Shogun's almost done. I think the finale's tonight. I gotta
nice.
catch up on the last
Yes.
couple
Yeah,
episodes.
me
but
too. Same thing.
whoo, man, great show. We got to review that too. You guys gotta watch
that's
that.
Next. That's next.
Oh yeah.
X-Men 97 rolls on. See that certain episode, that's a game changer. The follow-up, still a good episode, but those of you that's seen it know what I'm talking about.
I agree.
I'm almost done with the original series of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm in the final under
Yeah.
6-7 episodes.
Oh man.
Okay. Wow. Then you gotta watch Legend of
Man,
Korra.
when I say you are about to watch one of the greatest finales of
saw that.
television,
I saw that it's like pretty much a full-length movie where episodes put together. It's an hour and a half.
it's yeah.
I'm almost there. I'm at the finish line. But
I'm so jealous of you experiencing that for
You
the
can
first
see it in
time.
the horizon.
Yeah.
yeah, I just hope when the Netflix season 2 goes into production that they nail the season 2 of Avatar because that's possibly better than maybe better.
Season 2 is probably Avatar's most important season.
I can't wait to see that in live action. If I enjoyed Netflix season 1, then I saw the original. I enjoyed it. Know what's gonna happen, but the season in the Earth Kingdom was very freaking good too. So
Ba Sing Se and
exactly, yeah. And the character, the main villain, not this. We'll get to it.
Azula.
Azula, the sister, but I'm talking about the guy that's the master puppet that controls the king. That's the voice by Clancy Brown.
Oh yeah, I forget his name too. Yeah,
But
Mr. He's like the General Zhao of season 2.
Mr. Krabs, the voice of Mr. Krabs is the main villain of season 2. But yeah, that's what I have my eye on right now.
The only thing that I saw was Fallout, and trying to get them to watch it, but we'll see. Quick thing, I liked it.
People are saying it's good.
I have no idea on the basis of the storyline. I only saw what I saw, and I liked what I saw. Does it make me want to go play the games? Maybe, but that's too many games.
It sounds like it's trying to be the next Last of Us, and it's like not quite getting there. Like like the universal appeal is not there really.
It's more of a slap in the face to Halo fans saying, this is how you create a good show. So sorry, Halo fans, but
is it pretty loyal to the original game?
I'm not sure.
I haven't played the game.
I haven't played the game, so I'm not sure.
Because I guess
but I have heard, like my brother-in-law said that it was really good compared to, so
and by the time this comes out, we're on the eve of Knuckles premiering on Paramount Plus, so that's exciting to continue the.
Wait, that comes out tomorrow?
That comes out the 28th at this time, but it's coming out this week. But
5 days.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, awesome.
You said the 28th, right?
28th.
Like
Yeah,
next
that's
week,
episode
next week.
1. Are they doing a weekly release or all at
I'm
once?
not sure.
But that's gonna be a fun show to watch. As a good appetizer between the second movie and the third movie coming out at the end of this year.
Yeah. Can't wait.
So that's pretty much it. How about you guys? Let us know what you guys are watching. Tell us what you guys think of anything that happened today, and if there's any other questions, just throw them down in the comment section down below,
Or just say hello.
Hello too.
Engagement. It's awesome. With that said, guys, we're out.
Roll credits.